Welcome. This video is about what forgiveness is and what it is not. I'm Dr. Lynette, and if you're new to this channel and you want to see previous or future videos about love, nature, communication skills, or relationship patterns, please subscribe to the channel and turn on your notification bell. So, what is forgiveness? Well, forgiveness is not the denial of reality or pain or consequences. Forgiveness is the acknowledgment of reality while simultaneously freeing your mind and your emotions from hyper-focusing on or attachment to an offense or a problem. Forgiveness is emotional freedom from the problem, which protects your mind and your heart while you experience the situation, the reality of the situation. So whether we're noticing it or not, we are always mentally and emotionally balancing both what we see as real and what we wish was real. So when thoughts or feelings get glued or stuck on what we see as wrong, then it's difficult to free our minds to create the next steps towards what we want. Your mind is your steering wheel. The direction or trajectory on which you set and send your mind is where your life is headed. So before I go any further, I want to explain a difference between forgiving and pardoning, because the trajectory of outcomes between the two can be very different. So to pardon is to remove consequences or to excuse an offense. To forgive, on the other hand, is what you do for yourself to empower yourself so that you can have clarity of mind and so that you can have emotional stability despite the situation. Forgiveness does not assume a removal of natural consequences or a removal of relationship boundaries. In fact, it may help you see more clearly how to implement healthy consequences. It protects your mind and your emotions from suffering further damage, while acknowledging naturally occurring consequences may be in order. So you can see that it's important to know whether you want to forgive or to pardon, because they can have very different outcomes. Now, the effect of forgiveness, it may ripple out into your relationships with others, but keep in mind the primary effect of forgiveness is what it does within you. It changes you from being reactive about an issue to having the freedom and the power to proactively choose the trajectory of your thoughts and emotions, despite the problem. It stops your mental or emotional reactivity towards something you don't want by removing unhealthy emotional attachments. Now, your emotional intelligence and mental awareness create your evolution as a person. The mental condition of forgiveness gives you a broader and a deeper awareness, allowing you to mentally evolve without the emotional reactions that would otherwise send your mind into an evolutionary cul-de-sac. So forgiveness, it protects you from toxic thoughts and emotions that would pollute your mental activity and your wisdom. Rumi said, quote, "Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it." End quote. Forgiveness is a paradox. It's a state of emotionally letting go of what you want in the moment in order to have a clearer mind to understand the problem so that you can create solutions and create your next steps towards your goals. Be in the world of reality, but don't let your life purposes be limited by it. The paradox of forgiveness is that you're in a state of letting go of what you thought should happen or should be happening, letting go of this in order to create your best life. So how does this work? Well, humans live in the constant space between what is real and what we think should be real. To not forgive is to be limited in the mental state of opposition against what is, against what's real. With forgiveness, you're able to see the problem more clearly, to see beyond the limited context that the problem's living in, and to see potentials and steps forward despite the problem. This requires letting go of the paradigm that says, I can already see the whole context. Be open to the potential of a broader context than you yet know. If you think you have all the proper metrics to determine how right or wrong something is, then you believe that you have all the tools to measure the problem relative to its entire place in all of existence. Refusing to believe that there's a larger context than you know is to be stuck in a mental and emotional cul-de-sac and a self-fulfilling prophecy. And even in situations where a consequence must occur, forgiveness can detach you from the dependency that would otherwise be in that cul-de-sac. Forgiveness detaches you from mental and emotional dependency on the status of any remaining consequences or payments. This frees your emotions from being controlled by a price or a debt that is yet to be paid. So you can see that forgiveness does not allow your emotional health to be dependent on or ongoingly controlled by a toxic entity. Now, there are times when your emotions will signal to you that there's a problem, and that's beneficial to have that signal, to have that emotional signal. But emotionally staying in that moment as time moves forward is painful. Letting yourself be emotionally or mentally controlled by something or someone that you find distasteful can lead to feelings of desperation and hate and isolation, weakness, helplessness, and worse, all stealing from your actual goals, stealing from your emotional freedom from the offense, and stealing from your ability to resolve problems. So forgiveness is not letting yourself be mentally under the control of something toxic or detrimental. It's letting go of emotional thought patterns that create weakness in you. And when your thoughts stop being emotionally controlled, then you have more strength. You have the strength and you have the responsibility to build intentional thought patterns that support and further your life's purposes and your love in the world. Forgiving is the letting go of any barriers that are preventing your full awareness of love in the world, freeing your mind and freeing your emotions from being controlled by anything not of love. Many religions say that forgiveness is the ultimate cleanser of obstacles between one's subjective experience and the experience of heaven. Consider the idea that seeing life through a clear lens of love, is the feeling of heaven within your life on earth. Forgiveness is able to clear and heal your mind so that you can see clearly the clarity of your love and the clarity of what love is able to do all around you and through you, despite the pain. By forgiving, you are free to choose your thoughts and your emotions. You can choose them, and these create the trajectory of your life. Trust thoughts that are built on love more than you trust the thoughts that are built on distractions that tempt you away from the thoughts of love. To trust or worship the idea that there's something more powerful than love is in some religions called blasphemy. Forgiveness clears away the idea that there's anything that can end your awareness of and ability to love. Forgiveness refocuses you away from distractions and back to the clarity of your loving wisdom, back to your responsibility to love. Be in the world, but not limited by it. Be in the world, but not of the world. Thoughts and goals that operate apart from your love will become your emotional quicksands. Thoughts and goals that hold love are unstoppable. Thoughts from fear try to describe the future, while thoughts from forgiveness are in the present. We can know some of the present truth, but we can't know the future. Forgiveness responds to everything, both past and present, good and bad, internal or external, with the same courage of love. Free from attachment to any thought or to any goal that's not made of love. In the Spanish language, when you say the word sin, you're saying the English word without. And I think of sin as whatever is without love. It's not a loss of love, it's a distraction from love. Love cannot be overpowered by sin. Sin disappears when love is present. It's like light entering darkness. Imagining life without love would, of course, be upsetting. It would bring destructive thoughts. It would bring destructive emotions and destructive actions. And this is why some religions say that it's a sin to not forgive. Let go of thinking that there is a power in what is only a distraction from love's reality. Love's power is infinite and effective. In love's powerful and yet humble state of mind, the ideas of sin and blame are transcended. When we are humble, we admit that we don't know everything and that we can trust that love can make us wiser. We become willing and able to see the possibility to love in every situation. Where do you have to let go of what you see through eyes of destructive emotions? Forgiveness, it cleanses these emotions. Forgiveness comes from the courage of trusting love. So trust love, and you will see that there is love at work through you, and it's all around you. The territory of your heart is wise. Live in this territory. Think from this territory. Respond to all others with your power of love. Love is not dependent on the status of problems. Love is not dependent on the status of problems. It's not dependent on that. Pour love into any area of your mind that's empty of love. Power pours love in, and the opposite is to react, which means to try to force something. Flow, don't force. Love's power is not dependent on being against anything. Angst brings reactivity and anxiety and stops the flow of your power. Do not depend on anything except love. Share what you will and continue creating your infinite evolution. Your life echoes. It echoes into all lives forever. If you liked this video, please click on the like button and share the video to help it reach out to more people, and subscribe to the channel. Videos on this channel are about love's power, about nature, about relationship patterns, and about communication skills, and it is free to subscribe. Welcome, and thank you so much for your time.